Welcome back to another episode of Games and Giggles with me, Denise, and Gabi.
Hello.
On I don't know which side of me. This episode is starting really good. This episode, we're gonna talk a lot about D&D once again, about combat, and especially on how not to be a super selfish player like I sometimes am. And we talk about lying to our friends in Among Us, and
Only in Among Us, okay.
only in Among Us, and we talk about Overwatch 2 and just share some more general life stories. Have fun with the episode. We're back.
So how are you doing? How's things been?
Good. I've had a crazy day last night.
The last
Yesterday.
day. The last day I had was crazy.
Yesterday I had a crazy day. Some stuff happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to share the stuff? Okay.
First, it starts with me being awake around, I think not awake, so half asleep, half awake, because my boyfriend left very early in the morning, and it was like 7:30, something around that. And I was in bed, and I heard a knock on my door, and it was my roommate, and she was like, you should really like air your room. I turned on the wrong stove and now it really stinks. And you should air your room. I was like, yeah, sure. Still half asleep. Yeah, sure. I opened the window, went back to bed, and didn't really think much about it. So afterwards I got up because my parents were supposed to come over. So I got up in a big stress because I knew they were going to be here in an hour. Yeah. And I went outside and it smelled horrible, like burnt plastic.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh yeah, I guess they melted some plastic.
Yeah, like that's normal, that's fine.
So I was cleaning it up a little bit around the house, and I was like, yeah, this is a strong smell. Like this is sticking around. And I went on the balcony and I saw, you know, the drawers you have in the fridge on the bottom?
Yeah.
Two of them inside of each other, completely like melted inside a big hole, stove-sized hole on the bottom of it.
How?
So basically, my roommates took them out to clean, and because it was weekend and we were all lazy, there was a lot of dishes next to the sink. To clean, so it didn't have a place exactly next to the sink, so they put it on the stove. And in the morning, when one of my roommates wanted to make coffee, she turned on the wrong stove, and it was the one the plastic drawer was on. And apparently, my other roommate told me this. It was like full of smoke, like the whole flat was full of smoke. It was apparently crazy, and I just slept through it because somehow the smoke didn't get into my room at all. Not even the smell really got into my room. But as they told me, like the whole flat was full of white, thick smoke and fog.
Oh my goodness!
And apparently, the flatmate who woke me up, she was so scared. She was like, "Oh no, I killed her! I killed her!"
Oh no!
Yeah, but now the flat still smells a little bit like burnt plastic, and we're trying everything, candles, we're leaving everything open all day. It's getting really cold now.
Yeah.
Luckily the weather's beautiful, but yeah, there's still like this underlying smell of burnt plastic throughout the flat.
Wow. But then, so all of the appliances are okay now, or
yes.
did they actually like get? Okay.
I mean, the drawers, they're gone. Obviously, they're completely broken.
The drawers are just gone.
We can just buy them again. But the stove seems fine. We haven't turned it on yet because we feel like there's still a little bit of plastic on top, so we're still trying to clean that and scratch it away.
Okay. Sorry, my little lava painting behind me just dropped. So I just saw it. I just saw it slide off there. Sorry. Oh god, I'm just trying to not laugh as you were telling me. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, but that's the drama that happened yesterday. Also, my parents came by, so that was made me
So
nervous as
that
well.
was was that their first experience at your place with
This
like
this is the first
smoke?
time they have properly visited me in my home outside of their home,
Yeah.
obviously. Like my mom and my dad, which is a
Yeah.
big deal because my mom does it. Yes, my mom likes doing that, but my dad doesn't. So
Yeah.
it was very nice. It was very nice. But the whole flat smelled like burnt plastic.
That's the one time, you know, they're like, oh, let's go visit our daughter. Let's see how she's doing. Smoke everywhere, plastic smell.
Yeah.
They're like, are you okay here, sweetie? Are you sure? Are you sure this is a good place? Oh my goodness. Oh,
But
wow.
yes, that's the drama. Also, D&D happened, but I think we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We need to get into that a little bit more. Yeah.
Just
sure.
tell me how you are.
Well, I think here it's not as bad, not any big burning traumas over here. So that's all good. Yeah, I've been pretty chill. I worked the previous weekend. I went back to like my main job, and that was really normal. Like I don't know how to explain it. I thought I was
Beautiful.
gonna be really, I don't know, excited again, like oh my god, I can go to work. But I think I was really like calm, and then when I got to work, I was like, oh, it's like I never left, you know? It was
Oh,
that sort
that's
of
nice.
nice. Yeah, so I think that was even nicer that I just felt like, oh, I'll just pick up where I left off before, you know, we had to shut down. So yeah, that was just so lovely, but I did feel tired after. It's crazy now how, you know, we're so adjusted to working from home and actually going into work, like we have like standing desks which are really really nice. So we use that with the students that I had. And you know, but after the day, you kind of feel it, you know. You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I've been I've been more active. I've been like standing around today." So I was really tired at the weekend, and especially because I work the mornings. You guys know, and Denise, you know, I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
And then the clocks went, the clocks moved, didn't they?
Yes.
So then I ended up waking up at 6 instead of 7 on the Sunday, and I was like, no, please, why? The one weekend I have to work, I have to wake up even earlier. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite intense, so I didn't do much at the weekend and stuff. But yeah, it was like I said, you know, it was so nice to go back to work. And the other thing was yesterday I submitted everything for my uni applications. That's all done.
Ooh, that's so
I got
cool.
I got the confirmation email, like, you know, we got your application, we're looking at it, and then we'll let you know. But the thing is, now I don't know when they're gonna let me know. It just says, you know, those really like general sentences like we'll let you know very soon, you know. And I'm like, when? I have to know.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah, I'm really really nervous. And you know, even if I do get submitted, I feel like I'm gonna be so nervous because I haven't been at uni for years now. Well, not like it's not obviously that long, you know, it's about what, 3-4 years since I've left.
Yeah, but
So
it's
it's
still
not,
a big change again.
yeah, it's a big change. It's like a whole new place. Yeah, you know, it's always that little feeling that you get like, oh, I'm gonna meet like new class and the professors, you know, it's yeah.
New
I don't
people.
know. New people, yeah, I know. But I think it'll be so so good though. You know, after like this whole corona period to then have like maybe hopefully a nice group of people that I can like study with and work with, and that's what I'm hoping for at least. But I don't know yet actually either if because the last thing I sort of found out was that they were doing hybrid lessons, so some online, some in person. But I'm hoping by September we sort of go mostly in person.
Yeah,
Because
I
we
hope so
need,
too.
yeah, because apparently like we are trying to get everyone vaccinated at least once, like, you know, during the summer and stuff. So I'm hoping that that's the case, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, very exciting, very exciting.
I bet that's a big deal.
Yeah. I'm very nervous thinking about it, but I'm trying not to think about it too much. So like when I find out, I'll find out, you know.
Keep calm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all done. And I was, you know, actually sort of thinking about D&D as well. I was thinking with yeah, this is something that I think we can talk about a little bit as well. Like, I was thinking with Mark, because sometimes, like, at the weekend, we, like, I don't know, go for, like, a bike ride or
Mm-hmm.
go visit, some family, obviously play with our friends online and stuff. But we thought, oh, maybe it would be nice to, like, do something just for the two of us. And then I was thinking, like, oh, would it be possible to actually just play D&D with literally just a DM and one player?
It
Would that
is.
work?
It is. There is adventures for that. You should look it up online. There is. I
Yeah.
think there's one official as well. I think it's part of the starter kit or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Um, so it should be possible, but I'm sure there's if you check on DM Guild, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but there's
DM
like
Guild. Okay.
yes. So there's this site that you can. I think it's DM Guild that you can go on and you can. There's some free adventures. There's also some adventures you have to pay a small amount of money to, like $5-6 maybe. And
Okay.
I'm sure there's one for just one-on-one D&D.
Okay. Yeah, because we looked a little bit into it, and then yeah, I think we also found a couple of adventures that you could indeed do with like one or two players. So
Mm-hmm.
um but yeah, and then I don't know, we were also thinking, oh, it would be cool though if we did make a world, like a world, just like, let's say, so Mark really likes like Final Fantasy type
Mm-hmm.
games, that
Mm-hmm.
RPG classic style. Like, maybe it'd be cool to make a world around that, or for me to just have, maybe make a more open world. But then I was thinking, like, that's so much effort just for one for one on one. But at the same time, like, I guess there's nothing wrong with that, right?
No, I mean if it works for you guys, then go for it, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. We might try that, and yeah, I'll keep you updated with
Oh
how
yeah,
that
tell
goes.
me,
But
tell me.
yeah, I thought that would be nice, just
Mm-hmm.
to, because that's really quality time, right? It's
Yes.
just, yeah.
Very intense.
Yeah, yeah. It was like thinking, oh my god, if you have to DM, you're gonna have to play all the side characters, right? Because you
Mm.
obviously don't want the person to be alone the whole time. So
But I mean, Mark can do that. We know he can.
yeah, yeah. I'm planning to also just try DMing just with him too. That would be cool.
Oh
But he was
yes.
like, no, I want to DM. So we sort of had like a little brawl, like, no, I'll DM. It's like, no, I'll do it. I was like, you're already DMing right now.
Oh, I'm glad to see that he loves it though.
Yeah, he does, he does. But
It's
yeah,
really
that's a
important.
nice segue into you updating us on how the D&D campaign is going.
Yeah, I mean, I am currently part of 2 campaigns. I used to be part of 3, but I died in the other campaign, and
Just
which was
saying it so
very
casually.
yeah. I know I'm saying it casually, but it was obviously very, very. I say
It was
traumatic.
it
Now I'm being
was
dramatic.
traumatic. It
But yes, it
was.
was hard. I cried a lot. It wasn't a bad death. It was very close to the end of the campaign, so the campaign is still going on. And of course, everyone expected me to go back, but it was so close to the end of the campaign, and I loved that character. I had so much. Rosie was her name. I loved her so much, and
Yeah.
for me, I just didn't want to go on with another character. It's like when a pet
Yeah.
dies, you might not want to get immediately another pet.
Yeah.
So I just was like, no, I just want to let it go now. She died. That's okay. It was a good death. It was the big bad
Mhm.
who killed her. Um, so that was okay, but it was still hurtful. But that campaign ended. So I'm part of 2 campaigns now. Um, they're very different. The groups are very different. The DMs are very different. Not that different, actually. DMs are not that different. But the group is very different. So it just feels again different. My vocabulary today is absolutely diverse. Um,
Get
no.
those adjectives out. Get those synonyms out, girl.
Anyway, so one campaign, I had a session last night.
Mhm.
It was just like a small session because we couldn't finish a fight that was about to start in the regular session, so we made a little session in between just to just finish up the fight, and that's what it was
Mhm.
supposed to be, just a session to finish a fight. And so one of our players had really, really bad luck with dice rolls. So we're playing on roll 20, and within Roll20 you can roll dice. And I know they're supposed to be random, they probably are, but something is off about them. So usually you notice it that sometimes you just get like 3 nat 20s in a row, or sometimes you roll and you literally have two the same number twice. So you roll quickly after another, usually gets the same number twice. It's really weird. There's something off about it. I'm very suspicious. That's why I roll my physical dice. But this guy was rolling on Roll20, and he had good experience so far for a really long time. For half a year or longer, he rolled really well on Roll20. The last few sessions, he didn't. Last session was still okay, it was still a bit of a back and forth. But last session, the session before that, I mean, but last session it got really bad. He barely hit, and he went down twice.
Oh, yeah.
Once he had to make a death saving throw, and he had a natural 1, so that's 2 failed death saving throws. So the way it works is you can have 3 death saving throws. You have to roll above a 10, or you fail the death save throw. And if you fail 3 times or you win 3 times, that's good or bad, depending on which one. So he had a natural 1, which means that's automatic 2 failures. I managed to get him up though, but then he went down again, and he got hit after that, and he was on 1 failed death saving throw, and he rolled another natural 1. Just like that. So I think he made in total 2 death saving throws, and both of them were natural ones. And of course, with already 1 failed by being hit by an enemy, and then 2 failures from natural 1, he was down.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was very intense, because I literally did not expect anyone to die in that fight.
No, it wasn't like a really sort of make or break fight that decides everything, right?
It was just that I think that his character had a history with one of the attackers. So he wanted to go in there and fight him, but he's a rogue, and rogues are a bit squishy. So he doesn't have a lot of health, and he went down quickly. And our healers are more combat oriented, so we have healers, but they're not like main healer, they're just side healer.
Yeah, exactly.
Side healer, basically.
Yeah.
So there was not enough healing happening to keep him up. Also, there were a lot of enemies. It was a fun fight. It was intense. Like, there were a lot of we literally got surrounded by enemies, so my character had to move around a lot.
And you're playing a monk, right?
I'm playing a monk, yes. And funnily enough, I had the craziest rolls last night. I rolled, I think, 3 natural 20s.
Oh.
And so one of my attacks, the unarmed strike, is a D4. And I think I made like in total like 6 of these unarmed strike, and I'm not kidding, like 3 of them were max damage, or 4 even.
God.
I rolled incredibly well, which is so sad, because I know my friend who died like rolled so badly, and I felt so bad.
You kind of wanted to switch the luck between you guys, right?
Yes.
So at least you could survive.
And also, I literally kicked ass. I did so much damage. I took care of half of the battlefield. I'm not kidding. I think half of the kills were on me in a 5-people party. Half of the kills were on me. Of course, like, others were busy with the really strong big bad guys, so they didn't go down as easily. But I wiped the floor with them. And that's really sad, because I was so excited to have such a good run, and obviously the death of a character is more important, so I can't just party in the group chat after about my good rolls
you can't
if
be
someone
like,
died. I can't be like, I'm so great, I'm so lucky, when someone literally died. I mean, not literally, but in the game died.
In the game,
Yeah.
And so in Mark's campaign as well, just to like clarify, you can't just be brought back to life, right?
Yes.
It's a bit more, well, it's more permanent, isn't it?
Yes, it's absolutely permanent.
Yeah.
And it's sad, like, character deaths are horrible, but I have to say Mark handled it incredibly well, because he and I actually even talked about this when my other character died, because there I didn't believe it was handled that well. It was a really hard like a hard moment, because it was the first time for anyone in the whole group, even the DM, to have a character die. So I don't think anyone really knew how to handle it.
No.
So I didn't like the way it went down, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not really blaming anyone, but because Mark was there as well, and we talked about this, and we watched some videos of the mighty god Matt Mercer. He kind of knew how to handle that. Like, he was prepared for it. He knew what he'd do, and he gave it a really beautiful moment. He let everyone in the party say something, like say what their reaction was, and like really gave it a moment in the game. He made sure that Jeff, the other players, is all right, and it was very beautiful. It was very emotional, and that worked really well.
But yeah, I think it is so crucial. Like, character deaths are so sad, but I guess it is what you do after that death, right? How you handle it, not only as a DM but also the player and all of your friends, and like you said, it was nice to just give it maybe a moment, let it sink in. Because that's what we did also with Dad, who came on our podcast previously, right?
Oh yeah, that was a light. We actually had a character death in another campaign, but there was different because I gave everyone the opportunity to come back once.
Yeah, that's true.
So like everyone knew he was gonna come back, but it was still very intense.
Yeah.
As a DM, I was shaking, and I think Mark yesterday also said that he's shaking.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. Oh, right. Through. I'm okay now.
Your old chain smoke underneath came out.
No, that's just if I drank a coffee with a lot of sugar, and if you drink a lot of sugary drinks, you know, you sometimes get like a slimy kind of weird throat, and it just caught up to me.
Wow.
But I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay, you're okay.
I should drink some proper water, but that's fine. I still have a little bit of coffee. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, so I think, so what do you think as well, like, does the sort of group dynamics shift after a death, do you think? Like, does it sort of, or maybe will it? Because I guess you guys didn't play too much after the death.
No.
Okay.
I don't know, to be honest. I find it really hard to judge with this group. I'm sure that the character dynamics will shift.
Yeah.
But what I hope is that that it will bring out a little bit more teamwork. And what I noticed, and again, like, I'm not gonna blame anyone, I am exactly like that. I mean, I am playing a monk who is only like damage oriented. Like, I literally have no utility things at all. I'm just pure damage. I think there's this thing within D&D that players, and again, I include myself in this because I notice it mostly in myself, but also in others. Players mostly want to go for the biggest bad and do cool damage on them. And they don't like support. They don't like healing that much. They don't like killing the ads, like the little guys around the little bad guys. And I think, again, like, I am very guilty of this myself. Like, I played a sorcerer before, so I had high damage single target spells mostly, which obviously is really bad against all the little guys, because you only have like high damage. You don't want to really waste spell slots on them. And now I play a monk. Again, I'm mostly good at putting out a lot of damage, doing a lot of attacks. And I really wanna get away from that. So I told myself, for the next character, for whatever D&D campaign I wanna make, I wanna do a full support character. I wanna get completely away from any damage spells. Of course, have like 1-2 damage spells, but I want to go for support spells, for healing spells, all this kind of stuff. Because I kind of want to break this pattern that I've noticed.
I
I mean,
think,
have you noticed this
yeah.
as well when you were playing?
We literally talked with Mark about this yesterday, so it's so funny that you mentioned it because we were also talking
Mm-hmm.
about it. And you know, the way that we came about it was because the character that I played in that campaign was mostly healing oriented, and I went into it knowing that I would be like a support character. And I said to Mark, you know, it's so interesting because every campaign I've done, I've tried to be a support character. I think, and apart from your campaign, where I
Mm-hmm.
was a rogue as well, so that was more damage oriented. But every other time I'm like, okay, let me pick a support character. But I also feel like sometimes, like you said, because players have this tendency to go towards the big bad, if you
Mm-hmm.
are, you know, remotely sort of a support character and you do less damage, then you kind of get put into that role of dealing with the little guys and healing and, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly. And
yeah.
especially because uh, in D&D there's this thing that what's really dangerous is the the actions, the amount of actions. So a party can handle more a bigger enemy or a more dangerous enemy if it's just the one
Mm,
and he doesn't have a lot of actions.
yeah.
And if you have a lot of little guys, they can get really, really dangerous because they have a lot of actions, obviously.
Yeah.
So if one the enemy just gets one roll and one damage, and even if that damage is high, you still have the chance that he misses and everything. But if there's 10 little enemies and 5 of them hit, it still does a lot of damage,
Exactly.
even if half of them miss.
It adds up, absolutely.
And I think, like, strategically speaking, though I have no idea about strategy because I suck at this. I really suck at strategy. But I think it's really important in D&D to deal with the little guys because the amount of damage they can stack up is what really gets dangerous to the party, especially if one is engaged with the big bad and also takes damage from little guys.
Yeah.
So I think it's in D&D it's really important to deal with the little guys so the amount of attack actions against the party goes down.
Mm.
And yeah, I get like I know how amazing the
Yeah.
feeling is if you get a really good hit in on the bad guy and the big bad. But like it feels amazing, especially if you take him down. That's the best feeling ever. But I think I don't know, people tend to be selfish players in a way, not in a bad way,
No,
just
no, absolutely.
subtly,
Yeah.
subtly. And I'm definitely like that and I'm trying to get away from
Yeah.
that.
I think it's so easy to do that, absolutely. You know, when you see
Mhm.
the battle map and you're like, oh my god, this is a dangerous target. And maybe at some points as well, you're not even doing it selfishly. You're like, okay, I'm doing the most damage from the party, so I need to get in there and deal with that, you know, straight away, right? Because you don't
Mhm.
want it to, or maybe there's NPCs, you know, so you want to save them. Like there's always sort of
Mhm.
obviously the initiative to go out there and deal with that. But yeah, I agree with you. You know, I think for me as well, what I really don't enjoy about D&D, and I can say this plainly, I don't like combat. I don't like battles at all. If you got rid of all battles in D&D, I'd be happy. I'd be like, yeah, I'm just here to role play, to chill, explore the world. Great, you know. I
Mhm.
really wouldn't mind because I haven't really ever enjoyed a battle. Like I don't get me wrong, I will do it, and I like, you know, supporting my team, and
Mhm.
obviously yeah, sometimes it's rewarding to like get some kills, but I never find it that engaging. And I think maybe that's what's missing, like to even maybe talk a bit of strategy before you go into a battle, you know, or have everyone, like I said, have roles in the team, so you're not the
Mhm.
one who's
Mhm.
always sort of pushed into just being in the back lines and, you know, either healing or dealing with the little guys. Maybe move up as a team, you know, those sorts of things, right? Just to
Mhm.
make it feel like, oh, we're all here, we're all doing it. Because for me, a lot of the time battles felt very solo. Like, okay, that person's
Yeah.
like fucking 20 grids away from me, so I don't even see them on the map.
Mhm.
Someone
Mhm.
else is you know, dealing with that NPC. I'm just here on my own. Like it just
Mhm.
it feels so disjointed sometimes, and then that's when I don't really enjoy it, because especially when we play online and we're just literally like looking at the Roll20 website, we're rolling, the DM goes, yep, you hit, next one, yep, you hit, you
Mhm.
miss, next one. It's like
Yeah,
like what
exactly.
is this?
I
Like
know. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to brag, but I really tried already yesterday before the death. I tried to go against that because my
Yeah.
character, it makes sense in character, but it's also because I am like that a little bit. What had a tendency to just run off and run into
Yeah.
somewhere,
You're like, good luck,
and I already
guys. I'm out
got
of here.
killed twice almost about this. Like I almost went down twice because
Oh,
of this.
wow.
Um, so I like that. I like going in and getting into the thing. But then again, it's exactly that. And I only realized how true it is now that you said it. It's this kind of disjointed thing that everyone fights their little battles and it doesn't feel like a team effort.
Yeah.
It just like feels like everyone tries to get as much damage in
Yeah.
as possible and tries to have the coolest fight.
Yeah.
And that's not the point of D&D, I believe. So I
No.
last night I really tried to stay close to my team. We have a bard who's very fragile, of course, and also he's the best friend of my character in game. So I really tried to stay close to him and protect him. I tried to position myself kind of strategically because there were people coming in, and I didn't want them to swarm us, so I put myself in a certain position, and that worked really well, and
Yeah.
obviously worked super well because I absolutely kicked ass.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, so that was really really cool.
But I think it is, like you said, it is also, yeah, it isn't so much part of D&D that indeed you have your own battles, but isn't it also so much more fun and rewarding when you're there as a group and like you get a kill and someone goes like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, like that was so cool, like amazing, you do a move and your team can give you some feedback or they can just like hype you up a bit. And I
Yes.
think that's, for me, that's, if we have a combat, that's the most fun for me, the little moments you
Mm-hmm.
have with the other players that you can hype each other
Exactly.
up, or even have a bit of banter, like that's
Mm-hmm.
that's fun, right? That's fun.
Yeah. And it's something again, like I'm working a lot on myself as a player because I realize like how selfish I can be. And I really try to celebrate everyone's effort in a fight. So if someone gets a really good hit in, I try and celebrate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes it's really hard because I get tired and maybe I'm frustrated because I myself don't hit or something like
Yeah.
that. But I really try and work on that. I'm not there yet. I'm definitely not there yet. I'm also working on my role playing, so it's less selfish and more with other people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The thing is, the nice thing is about D&D, I think you can so well reflect on your own actions and try and make the best out of it.
Absolutely.
It's like a continuous team building
Yeah.
exercise.
It is. No, but I agree. I think it's so nice that you're going through this like phase right now in your D&D gameplay where you are reflecting more on yourself
Mm-hmm.
and trying to make it fun for everyone else as well, right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, going into D&D you have to sort of be almost prepared for that, like to be able to reflect on yourself as a player and say, oh, what's going right and what's going wrong. And you have to, and I also think like the characters that you do make play a big part of that, because when
Mm-hmm.
I, for example, the character that I did play in our D&D campaign, the way I imagined her, I couldn't role play her very well, with the actual image I had in my head. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when you also have to ask yourself like, oh, maybe I need to adjust that image that I have a little bit because it's just not
Mm-hmm. Yes.
possible.
Yes.
Right? Same with, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, with you, whereas you're more reckless. Now you have to sort of be a bit more strategic with your
Mm-hmm.
character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And um, I think there's always a way to find in-game reasons for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, no, I can't just change my character with that. But for my character, for example, she almost died twice by running off, so she just learned her lesson.
Yeah.
That's just, she's dumb, but she'll get there eventually. She
Yes.
did get there.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I can also imagine that, like, with one character now dying, with one, her second best friend basically
Mm.
dying now,
Mm-hmm.
obviously that will make her even more protective of the fragile people within her party.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There we
And
go. So you sort of I think
Hmm.
character development, that's also character development in your character, but also as you as a player, so important,
Yes.
right?
Character development is player development.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I think, yes, I think that's so important that you kind of
Yeah.
embrace these things.
Yeah.
And D&D is just such a social thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's extremely social, and I think if there's issues around, they will come up in D&D. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a very intense game, and is extremely social, I think. And it's not
Absolutely.
something you can just do and be like, yeah, it's just a game. It is so interactive. It so depends on the DM and the other players and how you function as a group.
Yeah.
It probably would be really interesting to do some like sociological
Mm.
what's the
Sociological
word?
or psychological?
Yes,
Yeah.
no, sociological
Okay. Yeah.
studies on D&D games.
Yeah.
That must be really interesting.
Absolutely. No, I think that's true actually because yeah, like you said, also how much of yourself do you reflect in your character or the character's actions? Like all those things are so cool, right? To think
Mhm.
about.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Oh, going into sociological behavior and stuff, we want to get a little bit back into Among Us. I mean, I don't think you can join us tomorrow, right? For the Among Us game.
No,
No.
unfortunately, I have D&D
Yeah.
tomorrow
Oh, that's yeah, there we
with the
go.
other campaign.
There we go. But yeah, also that game as well. It was so funny to hear that a lot of YouTubers talked about it, like when it was really at its craze, and they were
Hmm.
like, it's so exhausting to play this game for like hours in a day and be basically lying to your friends most of that time.
Yeah.
And I was, when you watch it, and it's like, oh, it's such a cute game. They're just messing around. Obviously, that's the point of it, but it does start to affect you, right?
Mm. I
So
mean, I
yeah,
wouldn't know, but yeah, I watched I mainly watched the Yogscast, which is like a YouTuber group. I mainly watched the Yogscast, and they've been playing it for months
yeah,
now. And I remember like how it was in the beginning, where it's just like very innocent, subtle lying, and everyone was kind of awkward and
yeah.
be like, oh, I don't want to lie. Now it's just sometimes full blown manipulation.
Exactly.
I mean, they play really, really well. Sometimes they play really, really shit, what I like. But sometimes there's manipulations going on, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I thought these people were your
Yeah.
friends.
But I feel like we had that a little bit because some people in our group when we played it like a couple of times, they were so good. Like people that I wouldn't
Hmm.
expect, they're like really innocent. And then all along they've been the imposter. I'm like, huh? Like, how did this happen? I feel like I don't think it ever really went well for me though. Like I hate being the imposter.
Same. I'm a horrible liar.
Yeah.
My dad, when I was a child,
Uh-huh.
my dad told me the story of I think, the man who cried wolf. Do you know that?
Feel like I've heard of it, but I'm not.
So
Yeah.
it's a man who's looking after some sheep, a shepherd, it's called.
Okay.
And he's bored while watching the sheep. So he's like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if I went into the village and yelled out about a wolf coming,
Mm-hmm.
just to mess with them? And he did. He was like, oh, wolf, wolf. And everyone grabbed their stuff and was like, oh no, we'll defend your sheep from the wolf. There was no wolf. Then he did it again and again. And he had a lot of fun with that, messing with people. But then one day, a real wolf came after his sheep, and he ran into the village and was like, ah, wolf, 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 wolf. And no one believed him because he had lied so many times
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
That's story time with Denise, and that's the reason why I'm a really horrible liar now. Like, that story stuck with me through the ages.
As a kid, you're like, oh my god, I can never lie. What if a wolf comes
Yeah.
one day? Yeah.
But it's like one of these things, right? Like, some
Yeah.
things happen in your childhood, either big or small, and they
Yeah.
stick with you for the rest of your life. That story was the one that stuck with me. I don't even remember if my dad told me that because I was lying about something. I don't remember. I
No.
just
No.
remember he told me that story,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't even that I got scared of it, but it just made so much
Yeah.
sense in my head that that would happen, that I didn't want to happen, that to happen to me in some way.
Yeah.
And now I can't lie. I mean, I can lie a little bit, obviously.
White
Like
lies.
I
White
can,
lies.
yes, I
Yeah.
can do white lies, but I feel horrible about them.
Yeah.
And if someone were to question my lies, I would break down immediately. Like I could not be a spy.
No.
If someone was like, "Wait, did you really do that?" and questions my fake identity, I would be like sweating and be like, "Yes." And that's what happens in Among Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so true. That is so true. Usually you can just hear it in your voice. You're like breaking down behind the camera. Oh
Yes, I totally went to
yeah.
water wheels. Please believe me.
There was one game literally where you and I were the imposters, just went terribly, didn't it? Because we were both like, oh no. Oh no, I think that was the game where I think Mark literally saw the crime on camera. So
Oh yes, don't we have the video up for
yes,
that?
yeah. Oh, I loved that though. It was so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do like. I mean, maybe Among Us isn't the best example, but I think in general, like through Corona, we've been playing so many sort of multiplayer games more than before. I feel, and obviously D&D is one of the games that we've done as a group, but I think just in general now we're all trying to find some sort of way to interact, to be social with each other. And I really enjoy that. I think now, even like we talked about Minecraft and Valheim, and just so many games are coming out at the moment where, you've got to have a group of friends with you basically to have a good time.
Which is good. And to be honest, I don't even play single player games except Sims. I'm back into Sims now.
Yes.
Once again.
So basically, at the weekend, I think I texted Denise on like the Saturday. I was like, "Oh, let's maybe play tomorrow." And Denise was like, "Yeah, like let's do it. I'll text you." Sunday comes, I just text Denise like, "Yeah, I'm in the Sims wormhole." She's like, "Yeah, I'm right there with you." That's the most accurate like text conversation between us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh god.
Oh, we were
And
both
I don't
in
know,
there.
I was like out of it for a while
Yeah.
and then I fell right back in. Just had a break for a while and now I'm back in.
That's the thing. It is that wormhole we talked about. You can't. You fall in. You stay there for a little while. You just have to. You have to. But yeah.
Yep, till you get sick of it again.
That's true. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to. Actually, we didn't talk about this yet. I'm really, really looking forward to Overwatch 2 coming out. And I don't know if did you watch like any of the the highlights that when they sort of showed more about the game and stuff.
I think I looked into the video and then I was like, yeah, I'll finish watching it later because it was very long.
Yeah.
And then I didn't.
You did it
but
in the
yeah.
end. Yeah.
Tell me about Overwatch 2. I know you're excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the thing that I'm most excited about, like right now with Overwatch, you either have sort of like the quick play or the competitive, right? But let's say if we want to game a little bit, maybe we don't want to. Well, we sometimes play quick play, but that's not the most sort of fun thing to do just for the two of us.
No.
So what I'm excited about is sort of like the missions that they're gonna have on Overwatch 2 because I think we will really get into that and we'll enjoy that. Where you have like some sort of goal, right? And you pick a little team with you and you just go through it. It's sort of like I think we have had similar ones on Overwatch 1, right? Where sometimes with events like you have different scenarios you can play. So that's sort of how I'm imagining it, but obviously they're gonna make it a bit more expensive, I hope. And they'll keep updating the missions. So that's sort of like a grindy part of the game that you can do with like a small group of people. And that's what I'm really, really looking forward to. But obviously, yeah, I think just the small like tweaks they're gonna make sound really, really good. And
yes.
Yeah. And also I think, watching the video was really nice because you just sort of I guess forget how much effort goes into making a game, and we watched like an interview.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we watched like an interview from, well, not an interview, but just like an information sort of video about the music like composers from the game, and that you can just see the passion, when they talk. I love that because they get so passionate about it, and you can just see
Yeah,
like
that's
they love the
amazing.
game. They do love the game. Yeah.
Hmm.
And they also showed like a clip of what really impressed me with the sound design for this game is like, now you hear like when you shoot, you hear the bullets,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But they
Yeah,
like
exactly.
now they're gonna have different sounds when you shoot like inside a closed space, or you shoot out in the open, or maybe there's
Yes,
echo. So
I've seen this part.
yeah, I was like, yes, but obviously this isn't new, right? I mean, Call of Duty's been doing this for years, but Call of
Hmm.
Duty is really ahead with these things, anything that comes with like sound design for like guns, because obviously that's their thing. But I was like, yeah, this is nice because now we have that, I guess, not realism, but you can feel a
Hmm.
bit more immersed in it, maybe.
Hmm.
That's the main thing, I guess. um so yeah, I was really impressed like with the interviews they put out. I really did enjoy watching it. And also, if you haven't watched it yet, watch the interview they did with some of the voice actors, because that
Oh
was great.
yes, I
Matt
will. I
Mercer
will.
is
I
there as
will.
well. Matt Mercer's there.
Oh yeah.
And there's the lady who voiced Echo as well. She's really
Hmm.
cool. Loved her because I think that was our first time really seeing her, the actress. Um, and yeah, Diva was there, I think, and then who else?
Ooh.
The guy who voices Reinhardt and Soldier 76. Yeah, so it was like a nice,
Oh,
nice
cool. Yeah,
group,
yeah.
nice group of
Hmm.
actors there. But yeah, it was really quite a nice thing, and I think now it's got us a bit hyped. But at the same time,
Ooh.
now I'm like, oh, I don't even want to play Overwatch, like the normal Overwatch. I'm like, I just want the new one, you
You're too
know?
excited for the next one.
Yeah, yeah, I think so
Hmm.
too. We tried to
Yeah.
go back to it, but it was just
Oh
it just
damn.
went so horribly. We're like, nah, we should just leave it for now. Just leave it.
That's the thing. Like I see they're putting a lot of effort into it, and I was super suspicious of it before,
Mm,
but now I'm less suspicious of it. I think like I see what they're doing, and I see why they're doing it as a second one and not as
yeah,
an update. But then again, I'm like, well, do we really need it? But yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I do get it, but I'm still not 100% sold.
yeah. I get it too
Don't.
because I think we were all a bit skeptical when it was
Mhm.
announced, and especially because we see the same characters, like the same heroes, so
Mhm.
we're like, oh, well, what's the point then, And yeah, I think now that they've given us a bit more like backstage access, let's say, we can see what exactly they've been working on. It does, yeah, just show us. But at the
Mhm.
same time, for me, I know I will buy it. Like that, I don't have a doubt in my mind because
Mhm.
Overwatch
Mhm.
is definitely one of my favorite sort of
Yeah.
multiplayer games like ever. When I first got the game, I was so impressed with all the heroes, like all the backstories they put into it, the gameplay itself. Like you can't find a game like Overwatch, right? No shooter is that like that at all.
I don't think so.
No,
I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea, I believe.
no.
But for me, it is one of the most fun shooters
Yeah,
because you have
absolutely.
these amazing abilities. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's similar shooters to Overwatch, right? There's this free one we played for a while, I
Oh
think.
yeah, yeah. I can't remember the name
Um,
right now, but I know you. I
Me
know what you
neither.
mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think there's similar things like Overwatch,
Yeah, but
but
I feel like that's when you play them, you sort of think to yourself, "Oh, this is like Overwatch." You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like in your
exactly.
mind, you're
Even
like,
though they might be older than Overwatch.
"Yeah, yeah." Even though exactly, but I think because it's
Mm.
been so successful in that
Mm-hmm.
genre of game, and it's just been executed so well,
Yes.
you just I don't know, I love it. I can't wait to like yeah, just get into the new game whenever it comes
Mm-hmm.
out and put some hours into that because I think
Yes.
we will enjoy it too. I really do. It does seem like our
I
type of
think
game.
I think I will. I
Yeah.
think I will. And they're putting a lot of effort into it, and I think are making a new game out of it. So that's fair. And if Call of Duty can release the
Yeah.
same game over and over again with different maps. And I actually don't know what I'm talking about. I only played like one or two Call of
I
Duties.
mean,
I
you're
don't.
not wrong.
But yeah, so like if they can do it with like 70 games, then Overwatch can
Yeah.
do one more game, I believe.
But it's
If they
interesting.
really like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry. If they really want to,
sorry.
you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And if they really put that much effort into it and
Yeah.
you go in there and it feels like a new game, then I think that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just always suspicious.
I think after Fallout 76, we all are.
Yeah.
Banned us. Oh man. But yeah, no, I do, I think with yeah, indeed, like with COD, I think if sometimes the game just loses the feeling that you get when you're playing it. Maybe things don't change a lot, but like the feeling of
Mhm.
it is different. I don't know how to
Mhm.
explain it. It's just a feeling you get when you're playing the game. You're like, "Oh, something doesn't feel right." It's just
Mhm.
and I hope that's what like Overwatch will manage to do, that it feels like the game that we have a lot
Overwatch
of
still.
nostalgia for. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I hope so too.
yeah, yeah. We will see, but I'm excited for that one for sure. Um
Yeah.
yeah, and I think the last thing, right? So I was, last podcast we were talking at the
Mhm.
end about like AI and stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of the name, so I'm just gonna correct myself here in case people watching or listening to it were like, "Oh my God, Gabby." The things that I meant when I said when I said that we have like those computerized sort of moving avatars. I think that's how I explained it. But they're called VTubers, which comes from like a virtual YouTuber.
VTubers.
Yeah,
Okay, I've never heard of that.
yeah.
That's interesting.
So
I
that's
mean,
what I
except
meant.
from when you told me about the last time, but I have never heard the name. That's
Yeah,
what I meant.
yeah, because I haven't really heard it either. Like you come across these like sorts of videos, and yeah, I didn't know like is that a thing, so, but it is. So that's the name for them. In case anyone was wondering after the last episode, because I really didn't
Mhm.
know. I didn't know. So yeah, now one of my friends and I are just obsessed with sending each other videos like every day with these
Mhm.
VTuber videos. I swear, once I didn't believe him because he sent me some videos. I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's really cutesy. I'm not feeling it, and now I'm in the wormhole. I'm in the wormhole. Yeah,
Again,
again
again,
for something
all the
else.
wormholes.
All the wormholes. I'm just a
Yeah.
worm. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there we go. I'll send you some, Denise, if you're ready.
Mhm. Okay, okay.
Are you
I'll
brave? Are
try
you
it. I
ready?
try it. I don't want to fall into the wormhole, but I'll try it. I'm sure I can keep myself out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but I think is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Um, I don't believe so.
No. Okay.
Do I have quick time to quickly run and get the book I talked about last time?
Oh yes, I did link it. I
Okay.
hope I got the right one, but definitely.
Oh, yes. I'll quickly. No, if it's linked, it's fine. No, I'll
Oh, you
quickly
go
do.
grab it. Go show it off. Come on.
Okay,
Go
okay.
get
I'll
it.
be right
Get
back.
it, girl.
I couldn't find it.
Oh no.
I believe I borrowed it to Lucas, and this is exactly the reason why I don't borrow books normally. I swear to God.
Yeah, honestly, I've had that before as well. Once I never got a
Mm.
book back, and I really value my books, so I was like, yep, never again.
One last anecdote. In my childhood, I had a favorite series of books. Um, it was called The Red Silk Scarf, I
Oh,
believe,
okay.
and it was a series of books about a white girl who falls in love with a Native American back in year whatever. Very cute, very romantic, by an author called Frederica de Chesco. She's very famous for these kind of children's books, and it was a trilogy, and I loved it more than anything. I literally read each book 5 times or more, and then I borrowed the first book, The Red Silk Scarf, to a friend or someone. I don't remember who. and I've never received it back. And then at some point I was like, okay, I gotta get the first book again. So I went to buy it. But now I can't find the same edition anymore. And now my first book of the trilogy looks different and it kills me.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Speaking of that, I also ordered books online. And like Mark was looking, because this is a series as well. So Mark was looking for ages online to try to find the same cover. Found the same cover. Then they emailed us that they don't have those books anymore. So we're like on a waiting list. We were like, fine, whatever, I'll wait. They arrive. Guess what? Still the wrong cover.
Wrong one. No.
So like, why were we waiting for the book that we could have just bought from another website? Because that cover was, everywhere. Oh, I was like, why? I have to change the first book. Now I have to get the same style.
Yeah, I mean, what I want to do is, I think someday I'll devote some time to it and I'll look online. I'll ask around for friends, like I'll post it on social media, and I'll go to some thrift stores and stuff because they usually have a lot of books and it's got to be somewhere. It's not a rare book or anything, so it's got to be somewhere still.
But yeah, no, I feel you. The collection has to be the same,
Otherwise, yeah, and it was one from that particular phase of my childhood. They were my very favorite books. They were my first favorite books I've ever had. So it means a lot. And I would get the exact book back that I had then. But I'll just take any one of these. So yeah.
That's sad that you lost it, but I'm sure you'll find it again.
Yeah, I think that'll be like a life's task at some point. Yeah. Probably like in 50 years when it will be much harder. I'll have the time. I'll be retired. I'll take the time and I'll be like, goodness. I'm gonna pay someone $1,000 if they bring me this book.
Yeah. Like a manhunt, but then for the book.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I love
10,000 francs. It'll be like whoever brings me the book.
Imagine like for your birthday or something, like Lucas or one of your friends just gets you that exact book. Wouldn't that just be the perfect present?
Oh my god.
You'll have to tell me now what book it is so I can start searching.
I will send you a picture.
Like your wedding gift, like. Or the birth of your first child, like here's the book, like I'm here to offer you the book.
Yes, that would be perfect though. That would make me so happy.
Oh, amazing. But yeah, so I think that's a nice place to leave it for this week.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching, listening as always. We hope you enjoyed it a lot. And we'll be back in April. We're trying to do 2 episodes a month, so we'll be back not too long after this one. So look out for our podcasts. Definitely. Yeah.
Yay!
Bye everyone. Take care.
Bye. Welcome back to another episode of Games and Gay. There's the blooper. Okay.